Episode 9 is set to deliver tons of twists and turns by writer and director J.J. Abrams. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one character that I really wanted to focus on is, of course, the character of Rey, in which J.J. Abrams will be giving the character a very important lineage in this film, and will actually be fully explaining her identity in the final installment of the Skywalker saga. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art and storyboard descriptions, etc. One of which has all to do with the major hint and or indicator of Rey's true identity in Star Wars Episode 9. Specifically, a description of a younger Rey that appears to be very similar to the young version of Rey from The Force Awakens flashback sequence. She is standing inside of a dark cave with many visions twirling around her, consisting of the island of Jakku, the Prime Jedi Mosaic, a hooded figure in a Jedi-like robe, and lastly it's described that Rey hears voices that of Palpatine and Obi-Wan Kenobi. The next it shows the young Rey going through these visions and auditory hallucinations and transitions to an older Rey in the same cave, now in present time holding a staff with R2-D2, next to her with no visions happening this time. The last goes over Rey walking further into the cave with R2. So I want to go over a couple of parts about this that really do raise my interest when it comes to Star Wars Episode 9, and exactly what J.J. Abrams is going to do with the character of Rey. And I believe that this also ties into what we actually heard in The Force Awakens when we actually heard the voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi telling Rey, these are your first steps. There is a deep reason as to why he added in that Obi-Wan Kenobi voice, and I believe it will be extended in Star Wars Episode 9. I mean, why else would the younger version of Rey hear the voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi and Emperor Palpatine? Could it very well be that those voices are indeed major hints and or indicators that she is somewhat connected to those two characters in some way, shape, or form? The other thing that I do want to go over is, of course, how she sees visions of the island of Jakku and the Prime Jedi Mosaic. Now, this could also mean that she is somewhat connected to a Jedi. Note that she actually sees visions of a hooded figure in Jedi-like robes, which honestly could be Obi-Wan, or it could be a random Jedi that we have never seen before on the big screen. Now, there's a lot involved with Episode 9, not only when it comes to the character of Kylo Ren, but it's really going to be about Rey and her lineage and her true identity in this film. Now, yes, Rian Johnson, the writer and director of The Last Jedi, pretty much explained that she is a nobody and that her parents are nobodies from the planet Jakku. But my biggest question right now is this: why would she have dreams of the tree library of Jakku? As you actually heard from the dialogue in The Last Jedi, she tells Luke Skywalker, that she's seen this place, but only in dreams. What's her connection to this island? There's definitely some kind of connection and or origin for the character of Rey that has something to do with the Jedi and or Sith, and I think that there's a deep reason as to why she's hearing the voices of Obi-Wan Kenobi and Emperor Palpatine, especially as a young child. Now, what planet is she on when she enters this dark cave as a child? Is this, of course, the planet of Jakku, or could this be somewhere else where her parents actually brought her before they left her on the planet of Jakku with Unkar Plutt? Like I say, we do know that J.J. Abrams will be expanding all of these flashback sequences in order to really tell the full story here. It has been explained before in the past that each and every film in the sequel trilogy leading up to the last film are basically only going to be pieces to the puzzle when it comes to the flashback scenes. So we're going to actually be learning the full story in Episode 9, not just with Rey and Kylo Ren, but also with the character of Luke Skywalker. So I think it's a really good step I think it's a really good idea. It's really a good step in the right direction, in my opinion, that J.J. Abrams is actually giving Rey a very important lineage in this movie and is changing certain elements of her identity, something that a lot of people were counting on seeing in The Last Jedi, where Rey would actually have a very important lineage at that. Now, I know a lot of you guys out there do actually like the idea of her being a nobody, and that's perfectly fine. For those of you that were upset and let down about her being no one and her parents not even being significant, I think the reason as to why I also feel the same way as you, where I was a little let down there that that's the choice that they actually went with, is because if you look at Anakin Skywalker, right? Yes, if you look at him, he is a nobody at that point in time in the prequel trilogy as a child. But we knew where the character was going. We knew he would eventually become Darth Vader here. With Rey, we have no clue who she's going to become. So by the time Episode 9 arrives, they pretty much have one movie in order to tell us exactly who she is going to become, or who she really is in this film that is going to be portrayed by Daisy Ridley. And it has been said before by Daisy that at the very end of The Last Jedi, people are going to have so many questions for the next 2 years involving Rey's lineage and or identity that'll really, lead up to a full answer in Episode 9, hopefully. And J.J. Abrams, ever since he was on board, he is changing certain elements of the sequel trilogy that will also reflect on The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, which honestly, in my opinion, I think is a great thing. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.